Hi everyone and welcome back to my Digital Diaries. I did not upload last week, and because I didn't upload last week, it's because I got lots of things going on. I had too many things going on. Long story short, your girl is now employed. Clock it. It was a long time coming, and thanks be to God that it's actually like this period of life is just come to a close, because the thing is, it was starting to impact me mentally. But today I wanted to speak about daring to be different. That's what I wanted to talk about today. It started to aggravate me from last week. People are not daring to be different, and everyone wants to be the same. And honestly, it's not really my business what another person goes ahead and does with their own life. That's really their own. Like, if you want to live your life being a replica of something you were never meant to be, then that is basically your own. I'm not going to argue with you to make you see another perspective, because at the end of the day, if it is your prerogative to go outside and be somebody else, then do that. Again, I'm not angry because it's not really my business. However, my issue was with all of this, I don't know why I'm starting like this, because I'm a person that has separated themselves from the crowd. I haven't necessarily been a follow fashion in that sense. Like, I was never raised to be that kind of person. And any time that I did try to do that, it was clear as day that I didn't belong. And so it just made sense to simply just be myself at all costs. What I'm saying is that everyone's trying to be the same. And this is the reason why everything looks the same. People dress the same, people act the same. And there's nothing that's sparking creativity just amongst people, because no one's daring to be different. No one's willing to stand amongst the crowd and stand on what they believe. And that is what bothers me. Even in our own journeys, even with ourselves and our journeys that we have with the Lord, I'm being so honest. You need to stand by certain, or you stand for nothing, and you'll be easily swayed into whatever other opinions people have of you, and you can't stand on that. I have good news this week, but there's been a lot of things. Like I said, February was a difficult month. I had to stand on a couple things, and honestly I didn't think that it would work out the way it did. I didn't think that I'd be sitting here right now with good news and prospects for the future. I did not think that. However, I had to stand on what I believe, because I'm standing on the principles and values that make me who I am. And if you don't know that, then you can be told absolutely anything. And someone can literally craft you into what they want you to be and not what you're actually supposed to be. And that is where this is where I have to draw the line. People have to kind of understand this, and this is where I think I've grown to understand this myself, that you can try and do it like someone else, but you will never be you. Oh, well, I did it better. No, you didn't, because it's not even really you. You don't even know who you are to know that you clocked that too. You didn't clock nothing. I'm sorry, you didn't clock nothing. You didn't. And I'm so sorry. I'm sick and tired of having to see that all the time. I am. And that's the reason why I tailor what I watch and what I do, or even what I read, and all these types of things to the morals and ethics that I believe I hold. Like, I hold these things. Like, if I have to walk away from something really big because it doesn't align with what I believe with, okay. Because I know there's something bigger and better that's aligned to me, that is perfectly made for me. I don't have to risk and take my own morals and ethics to be able to get into rooms that people, oh, you should have already been there already. On whose timeline? If I would have accepted that, I could be removing myself from the will of God. Sorry, but I'm not going to hell because of you. So for that, I'm walking away from that. People may look at you like you're stupid, but they don't know what the plans that God actually fully has for you. And this is where I'm coming from. I'm seeing a lot of people not daring to be different, and everyone's trying to just live the same type of lifestyle to escape a reality that we have to face so that we can actually do something about it. This economy is starting to really do us, bro. And in this economy, everyone needs to kind of like, I feel the more we fight back, yeah, then everyone actually understands what they want to be here for. Not just looking at someone else's life and thinking that they want to just do the exact same thing. Because again, you may not have that same grace given to that person for that purpose that you think you're going to get by doing the same thing. You may not get it like that.
Hi, Editor Namari here. I just wanted to make a clarification on what I was saying. I think when we're online and we're seeing people escape their situations through doing things through social media, I think everyone's trying to take that and repurpose the blueprint, which is kind of making everyone lack some uniqueness and creativity and flair, which I feel like we need to examine ourselves a little bit to ask ourselves what we're actually here for, so that we can actually do things that we're supposed to be doing, not things that we've seen other people do. And even though people have their own prerogative to do that anyway, I think it's just a take that feel like we need to be more aligned to who we are as people, not what we see online. And so I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. I'm out.
And honestly, dreaming and imagining a life that was never supposed to be yours, it's not normal. And then everyone's having these parasocial relationships where people are having relationships with people that they don't know. You do not know them. You don't know their morals, you don't know their ethics, you don't know what they do at night, or don't wrap up at night. The more you get to understand and learn who you are as a person, the more you will understand what you're supposed to be here for. Whatever it is that you're supposed to be here for, is that something that you need to discover, you and God. Not looking at someone else's life and fantasizing that, because it was maybe you can go and do that and you'll never be happy. There's different outlets that you can have to fully express yourself and express yourself in a way that feels authentic to you. I think there's always room for that. However, trying to imitate somebody else's whole life without trying to imitate their struggle either, goodness. There's been a lot of instances where I've come around people that may like the way that I do things, and I'm not just saying just me, because I've seen this with other people as well. People will go around people with the notion that I like the way that you've done this, I want to execute things like you, I want to have it like you, I want to get that impact that you have when you walk into a room, without trying to imitate the struggle that they have. And you don't know the struggle, because most people that's gone through something ain't gonna reveal that. What ends up happening is that there's people, when you realize that there's a two-sided coin of this, on the other side of that person where you see them thriving and very successful, you don't know the trials and tribulations that person's had to face to be able to be the person that you're seeing in front of you today. You don't know. And so when you're looking at people's lives, don't be envious of something that you don't know nothing about. Like, I'm being I'm so sorry, but it's the truth. The way that person has that on, right, you're not going to do it like them. You can rate the productivity, you can rate the flair, you can rate the source. That's what I do. But I'm never gonna try and be you, because the way you do you, I could never do it. That's what you're here for. I need to be me, bruv, because no one can do me like me. Same way no one can do you like you. But if you jumped on something and it was never you, you're gonna feel like an imposter in that space, and no one can tell you otherwise. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? You're gonna always feel like an imposter, and you're always gonna feel like you need to improve yourself wherever you go, because truthfully down in your heart, you don't feel like you're meant to be there. And there's times where you feel maybe a bit inauthentic when you're actually supposed to be in that room, and then things happen that make you feel like, I don't think I'm enough to be here. I've experienced that. I understand that. To be able to even enter in certain spaces, you need to have evidence of things to be there. And half of the time, if you've been invited or you've been given a seat at the table, clearly there's evidence within your own life that you're supposed to be there. And you shouldn't look at the room or the space that you're in and think to yourself that, oh, I'm not supposed to be here, or I feel like I'm an imposter, me being in this space. I don't think that anyone should feel like that. And I think that's the thing with knowing yourself though, because when you do know yourself, half of these issues that people who are trying to be something that they're not, you don't really get to face that. It could be that you maybe even think a little bit less of yourself. And honestly, I'm maybe falling into that category. I do think a bit less of myself, because I'm trying to keep myself a bit humble. I'm being so honest. There's been so many things that I've done that just thinking, oh, I don't think, to the point where people around me have to say, boy, Mari, you've done this, you've done that, you've done this, you've done that. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. You need to start doing that. And so I had to listen, and I had to look at the evidence that I have throughout my life. And I said, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. My life was the evidence that gave me the prerequisites, that gave me the requirements to be able to enter rooms and not feel no type of way. What? Today wasn't really about emotional pain, relationships in that sense. It's just observations I've been seeing throughout like social media, but also in the wider scale of what life is. I feel like everyone needs to learn who they are so that they don't get told who they are by people that are trying to manipulate who they are as a person. I see that a lot. You don't know who you are, you get around somebody and you're trying to follow, you're trying to keep up, you're trying to do a trend. But in the process of you doing that, you're around people that are trying to manipulate your character, so you end up being a person that you were never supposed to be. Be who you are and dare to be different. If daring to be different and going against the grain means that you have to stand alone, have enough integrity to stand alone and stand on what you're saying. Don't be a flip-flopper for when situations come, because the fact of the matter is it shows more about you than it does about the situation or the people that are putting you in that situation. Stand on what you believe fully. Stand on that and don't depart from that. If you believe in God, then you believe in God and stand on that. For all of that being said, be who you are. Stop being what everyone wants you to be. Stop going to aspirations that were never supposed to be yours, because even if you try to imitate it and try to do it like somebody else, it's not going to look the same, and it's not going to feel the same, and it's not going to feel authentic, and you end up not being happy. You may have the peas, but you may not have the people that you're even supposed to be around. On the journey to becoming yourself, you put yourself in rooms to learn about yourself even more, and on that journey you end up meeting people that were always supposed to be in your life. If you detour and you become something that you're not, you're going to meet people that were never supposed to cross your path, and that's the problem. On the journey that I wasn't supposed to be myself, and I was so ashamed on how different things were, so I started to try to conform, and the years that I did that, I was around people that honestly I had no business being around. I had no business being around these people. And now I look at my life and I'm just like, there's a couple years where if I could just take those back and do it again and do it on my own, I would have met the people that I was always supposed to meet, and it would have been better for me. Anyway, that's all I had to say today. I've been a Maria, like I really do love Ono, like yeah, love, blessings, lights, yeah. Have a great day, and I'm out.